Hi there, my name is Ash and I like to draw. But do you know what else I like? Pokémon! But, who doesn't? It's one of the world's biggest franchises for a reason, right? Everyone likes cute creatures. Everyone likes cool creatures. And when those cool and cute creatures don't just have superpowers but are also your friends, you have something really special on your hands. So of course Pokémon is a very popular subject among artists, especially when it comes to character design challenges. Make your own Pokémon. Evolve or de-evolve Pokémon. Split one Pokémon into two. Come up with new regional forms. Switch up their types. Heck, even I got into that one myself a little while back. But one that got really popular a little bit ago, especially thanks to a particularly awesome fan game, was Pokémon Fusions. And it makes sense, because with so many crazy creatures at our disposal, the opportunities for blending them together in creative ways are basically endless. And so, whenever I can't think of anything to draw lately, I've started using a random number generator on my phone to pick two Pokémon and smash them together just to see what kind of random creature I can come up with. And I thought it would be fun to show you guys some of my favorites so far. So if you're ready, then turn that cap backwards and hold on to your Pokeballs. Because it's time for us to get fusing. Now, like I said, these were picked by just using a random number generator on my phone. So imagine my surprise when it at one point picked the very first Pokemon in the dex. Bublasaur. This little guy is undeniably the eternal underdog of the original Kanto starters. I'm more of a Squirtle man myself, but Bulbasaur is nonetheless about as iconic as a weird little onion frog dinosaur can be. He's just so endlessly charming, and that big bulb on his back makes him instantly recognizable. So who could possibly be worthy of getting fused with the literal number one Pokemon? Well, it's got to be none other than... Shuckle? What the heck am I gonna do with this? I guess we'll just have to find out. It actually didn't take me super long to think of something for this. I quickly went past the obvious idea of just replacing Bulbasaur's bulb with a whole Shuckle and calling it a day, and went the opposite direction instead, by replacing Shuckle's shell with the bulb. That way, our new Pokemon comes across as some kind of shy plant stem or worm creature, hiding inside a plant of its choosing and occasionally sticking its head out of the top to bite or attack. You could say it has a sort of snake in the grass theme, if you will. Plus, I like to imagine that its limbs and its neck are just as stretchable and prehensile as Bulbasaur's vines, so that it can attack from really far away and then just retract when it needs to defend. I like to imagine that a trainer could be walking along the road and then see this bulb sticking out of the grass or a bush and try to approach it, and then get a real scare. I still decided to put the little craters from Shuckle's shell between the leaves though, sort of as a way to identify it among other plants. So if you get too close and end up getting smacked around, then hey, it's your own fault for not paying attention. Now we just need to combine Bulbasaur's cheeky little smile with Shuckle's eyes and head shape, and suddenly we have ourselves a very, very dopey, but very, very friend-shaped creature. I think I'm gonna call him Shucklesaur. I did go back and forth on his colors for a bit, but I settled on using Shuckles. It kinda makes him look like he's camouflaging himself as a red onion, and I just find that really funny. Be careful next time you make a salad, folks. Alright, that's one down. Let's see what else I can come up with. Ooh, Gurdurr! I always did like this Pokemon family. They're basically Gen 5's answer to the Machop, Machoke, Machamp family, except with sort of a circus strongman / classic American construction worker theme. And I just love the idea of them swinging around tree trunks, girders, and stone pillars to beat the snot out of folks. Alright, let's see what kind of badass is gonna get fused with this guy. Are you f***ing kidding me? Bidoof? I rolled Bidoof? Only good for being an HM slave, Bidoof? Poster child of ironic Pokemon memes, Bidoof? This silly little beaver bastard? Well... they both have red noses. That's somewhere to start, right? Actually, they do have more thematically in common than just that. Remember how I called the Timberline construction workers? And what are beavers known for again? That's right, constructing river dams. Sure, Bidoof has the teeth to fell trees, but someone has to carry the tree trunks and put them into place, right? And that's where I got the idea of simply giving Bidoof Gurdurr's body shape, replacing the bulging muscle veins with fur fluff, and also the Gurdurr with a wooden trunk. Now, weirdly, the first thing I thought of when I started drawing this was Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando. If you somehow haven't seen it, it's basically a hilarious hodgepodge of all silly action movies from the 80s rolled into one ridiculously fun romp. And man, the opening credit shot of Arnold walking around carrying a huge tree trunk never fails to make me laugh whenever I watch it. So, I use that as a pose reference. So my idea is that Bidoof has some kind of divergent evolution path. Like maybe the Bidoof with the highest defense stat become Bibarel and work as pack mothers of a sort, while the Bidoof with the highest attack stats become this guy, and work on carrying lumber to the dam and defend it from whoever would try to knock it down. I also made him real grumpy looking, because trust me on this one, no one is more grumpy than a construction worker being interrupted mid-work. And to be honest, I'm surprisingly really happy with how he turned out. He looks like he could knock somebody right the hell out and just keep on trucking. Alright, we've clawed our way through a couple of really ridiculous matchups, so let's see if we can roll something a little bit cooler. Okay, we've got Meowth and Doublade. What do you want me to draw? Kitten sorts? This is Pokemon, not Mau Mau. But then it hit me. Fusing two Pokemon doesn't have to mean that I shove them in a blender and press mix. It just means I gotta combine them somehow. And what cooler way is there to do that than drawing a Meowth who is wielding a Doublade? If you do a little bit of reading on the Ownage line, they're basically a Pokemon based on the classic idea of evil cursed swords and are said to suck out your soul if you try to wield them. So what if this Meowth, already a kind of devious little creature, found a Doublade, decided to wield it, and became possessed and corrupted by its soul-sucking properties? Once I had the basic idea of a cat with swords, I immediately thought of going in a sort of Puss in Boots if he was evil direction, and I even ended up referencing one of Death's poses from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Which, if you still haven't seen that one, you should go do so right now. It's every bit as good as people say. I mean, I damn near drew him with actual boots, but nah. Let's not draw too many clothes in our Pokemon. Although, with that said, I did turn the tassels into a scarf that Meowth could wear. Then I gave him the smiling mouth you can see on Doublade to further imply possession as it peeks up behind the scarf. Heck, I even replaced his coin with a third eye just to really drive the idea home. Basically, once I had this idea, I really wanted this Pokemon to give off the vibe of some 12-year-old kid's first edgy anime OC. Like something they'd come up with after seeing Orochimaru for the first time. So I crammed in all the cliches. A warrior wielding an evil cursed sword with a permanent psychotic grin on his face, a long flowing garment that can flap menacingly in the wind, and an evil aura. He's about to give some poor hopeful anime protagonist a long monologue about how friendship is a weakness, that's for sure. All we need now is a clip of him licking the sword. So say hello to and quiver in fear of Meowblade. Alright, that was a nice big step in the opposite direction, but I think I still have one more Pokefusion in me. So let's just see what I rolled this time. This one is gonna be a mix between Drowzee and Blitzle. What a weird combo, but alright, let's go. Honestly, this one was both the easiest and probably the coolest for me to think of what to do with. Once I saw the two of them side by side, I immediately kind of wanted to see what Drowzee would look like with that lightning-esque horn and mane. And damn if it doesn't look cool. One thing that really worked in my favor here is that both of them have these really powerful color contrasts. Drowzee has the brown lower half as if he's been lowered in mud, and Blitzle is almost entirely black and white, which kind of gives off the impression of a lightning bolt on a night sky. Thinking about how unpredictable lightning usually is, I then thought it would be fun to give the design a bit of asymmetry by alternating between the colors and putting lightning bolts in various places. I did go back and forth on the colors here too, but ultimately Blitzle's won. It just looks so damn cool, even if all I really did was give Drowzee Blitzle's colors and its hair. I did think he needed a bit of personality, and that's where Drowzee comes in. Even though he's based on a benevolent Japanese yokai called a Baku who eats bad dreams, he's always had a bit of a mischievous air about him. So I thought I'd make this Pokemon a sort of supervillain, and gave him a pose reminiscent of Electro from Spider-Man to catch that energy. And so, after a bit of finagling and the addition of some cool electric effects, we have Blitzee. What a blessing that they both had a C in the name. So there you have it. That's my little team of fused together Pokemon, but what do you think? Would you dare face off against any of these in battle? And which one would you add to your team if you ran into them in the tall grass? Tell me all about it in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to see more art videos in the future. Until then, I wish you the best of luck in catching them all. Now go out there and be the very best that no one ever was. See you in the next video, folks, and bye bye.